Okay, part 4, section 4 on that was your 30, 60, 90, 45, 45, 90. Now there's something you have to memorize up here because you use it on every problem. Every one of these 30, 60, 90, 45, 45, 90. Okay. Across 30, 60, 90, across from the 30-degree angle is the side reference 1. It's not the actual side length, it's the side ratio. Okay, so you put 1. Across from the 60 is the square root of 3. Across from 90 is 2. 1 square root of 3, 2. 1 square root of 3, 2. Now to 45, 45, 90, there's reference sides, but they're different. Okay, so across from the 45 is 1, 1, and square root 2. Now, in the first problem, he's asking you to fill in the reference numbers. Okay. Well, all you do, this is 60, 30, 90, so across from 30 is 1. That's across from 60 is square root of 3. Across from the right angle is 2 every time. 45, 45, 90, across from one of your 45 is 1. Across from the other 45 is 1. Across from the 90 degree is the square root of 2. Okay, 31, square root of 3, and 2. Square root of 2. I'm going backwards now. It doesn't matter the order they're labeled. Well, it matters where they're at, but there you go. 1, square root of 3, 2. 1, 1, square root of 2. So you put your pencil on that angle, go across, and that side, that's where your opposite side's at. Okay, now, I'm going to do this very much differently than what is set up over there. Find the missing side, okay? Now, you're not referencing the sides. So you don't see, you're going to have to reference the sides, but that's not your answer, okay? So fill in a 60 there, and you're going to reference your sides. These are unknowns. I'm going to call this X and this Y for now, okay? Okay, now reference the sides. So across from 30, there's an 8, but the actual side's 8, but the reference is 1. Across from your 60 is a Y, which I don't know. I'm about to figure it out, and I put square root of 3 above the Y. And across from your 90-degree angle is your 2. There's an X there, but the reference is 2. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set up a pair of proportions. Okay. I'm going to find the X first. I'm going to put 2 over X. And then on the other proportion, I'm going to put the square root of 3 over Y. Now, on both the proportions, I need the 1 over the 8. So now you cross multiply and divide. So 2 times 8 is 16, divided by 1, that's 16. So X, that side I called X, the answer is 16. Now on the other side, you ain't multiplying anything there, okay? Because you have a square root, and this number's not a square root. So Y equals, you don't take 3 times 8, you put the 8 first, then the radical. 8 radical 3, divided by 1. So 8 divided by 1 is 8. Square root 3. Okay, so this side is 8 square root 3. Okay, answer, problem solved. X, Y. So 45, 45, and that's 90. Doesn't matter which one you call X and Y, it really doesn't. Okay, actually, I'll tell you what, I want to change this problem. We're only going to find one side, because it can be problems where you only list one blank, you just got to find it. Now reference it. So there's an X there, 1. There's nothing there, who cares? Just put 1. Then that's square root of 2, because now you're 45, 45, 90. You got to look, always look back there, or else. Okay, now square root of 2. Now I just have to find the X, so I put 1 over X, 1 over X, and then the square root of 2 over the 18. You're going to take 1 times 18, that's 18, divided by the square root of 2. Now, lose your square root, okay? You don't need that. Now, put square root of 2 up there, okay? Because, okay, let me re-explain that. In the first video, when I told you how to simplify radicals, if you have a square root on the bottom, you get rid of it, and then it's just the number without the square root. You have to bring just the square root up, okay? Now you can divide 18 by 2. That's 9 square root 2. So that's your answer. Okay, next problem, 690, 60, 30. Okay, x, y. Now reference them. So your x is going to be referenced with 1. The 60 across from the 60 is your square root of 3, and then 2. And I wrote those for you on the front page of this. Okay. So 1 over x and square root of 3 over y. I put your 2 over your 12 in both proportions. So 1 times 12 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so the x is 6. Now over here, you can't multiply those. You write down 12 with square root of 3, and then 2 on the bottom. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, square root of 3. Okay. Okay. Next one. That's obviously a 60. Sometimes you're not given one of the degrees, but you can tell if you got a 90, 30. Gee, the other one's probably 60. So x, y, then you make your references. 1, square root of 3. Just put it above it. Get in the habit of doing that. And then 2. Okay, so it's going to be 2 over x, then 1 over y. Then you can put the square root of 3 over 12, and the square root of 3 over 12. Okay. So 2 times 12 is 24, divided by the square root of 3. Now, remember, you can't divide by a square root. You need to scribble it out, and it's just 3. You don't scribble out the 3 stays, and bring square root of 3 on top. So x equals 24 divided by 3 is 8 with square root of 3. Okay. Now the y, 1 times 12 is 12, divided by the square root of 3. So you scribble out the square root, put square root of 3 on top. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 square root 3. Done. Got it. You can go over 4 the same thing on the next page because you have to get in the habit of that. And then the next 4 problems are terrible. Okay. So that's 45. 1. And this is x, this is y. 1. Okay. This is square root of 2. Okay. So 1 over x and square root of 2 over y. Okay, we need to use the 110 then on the other one. This is easy. 1 times 10 is 10, divided by 1 is 10, so that x has a value of 10. Okay, now over here, 10 square root of 2 divided by 1. 10 divided by 1 is 10, square root of 2. Okay, 10 and 10 square root of 2. Okay, next one. 90, 60, and that one's going to be 30. Okay. X, y. Okay. So, across from your 30 is going to be your 1. So 1 square root of 3, 2. Across from 60, square root of 3, and then 2. Okay, so 2 over x, square root 3 over y, then 1 over 12. Okay, so 2 times 12 is 24, divided by 1, that's 24. Okay, you can't multiply those, so you write the 12 with the square root of 3 divided by 1. Then 12 divided by 1 is 12. Okay. So this is 12 square root 3. Okay. Okay, 45, 45, 90, so it's 1, 1, square root of 2. This is x, this is y. And then square root 2. Okay, so 1 over x, square root of 2 over y. Okay. And 1 over 12. One times 12 is 12, divided by 1 is 12. So it's 12. Okay, you can't multiply those. You put 12 square root of 2 divided by 1, and that's going to be 12 square root 2. Okay, this one there's only one space. Sometimes he does that. He puts just one space. You just got to find the x. Okay, so I don't need the two of them. Now, 1, 1, and square root of 2. Okay. Okay, so 1 over x and the square root of 2 over 15. Okay, now this one's a little bit weird. Well, that's 15 divided by the square root of 2. Well, you get rid of the square root. There's still a 2 down there, and you put square root of 2. Now, 15 divided by 2 is a decimal, so what you do is you just leave that 15 square root 2 over 2. Okay, hopefully we got that because the next part sucks. We're going to make some changes here. I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be 45 right there, not a 30. Yeah, these are not fun. You have to find what this is. So you're going to put X there, but here's the deal. You don't know any of the sides for that. So what you're going to do is separate the two triangles. Draw this one first. And then draw the other one that's right next to it. You're essentially just splitting it. Put everything you see. What you have to do is find how long this is, and then you'll use that to find this, okay? So I'm going to put blank X, but then I have another blank X, but that's fine. I'll just transfer what's here over here. Okay, so this is just to find this. So 60, 30, 90. So this is 1, reference the 1. Square root of 3, I don't have anything down there, so I'll put it, and then 2. So you'll be putting 1 over x, and then 2 over 20. Cross multiply and divide is 20 divided by 2, and that's 10. Okay. Okay. All right, now you bring your 10 over here. Now forget that. Done. Okay. Now, reference your sides on the 45, 45, 90. So it's 1, it's 1, and this is a square root of 2, so we got to find the x. So I'm going to put square root of 2 over x. And in the meantime, we got to put the 1 with the 10. I don't have anything down there, so it's 1 over 10. Now you don't multiply those. You write 10 square root of 2 divided by 1. So it's 10 square root of 2. Okay. And that's your answer. End game. Okay, next problem. kind of the same concept. That's our 90. This is 45, 90, 60, so that'd be 30. Separate the two triangles, okay? It's like you're doing two of the problems we just did. It's like you're doing two problems we just did, you're just doing two of them, okay? So we know this is 25 square root 2, and then we got 45, 45, 90. We don't have any of my sides here because this is what I have to figure out, okay? Then 30 and 60. Okay, so you have to find this side so you can bring it over here so you can find this side. So blank x, okay? That's going to be my x, okay? One, and then this one's going to be the square root of 2. So you're going to put 1 over the x, and then the square root of 2 over 25 square root of 2. Now you're like, how is this going to work? Well, you take the 1 times 25 and hook the square root of 2 onto it. Now you're like, well, what do I do with this? Well, since the square roots are exactly the same, they cancel, and I just have 25. So this is 25. Now bring the 25 over here, and then you repeat the process, only this time it's 30, 60, 90. So 1, square root of 3, and 2. Okay. Okay, so 2 over x. And I'm going to need the square root of 3 over the 25. Okay, 2 times 25 is 50, divided by the square root of 3. Okay. Well, again, I can't divide by the square root, so I'm able to just cross it out and just bring square root 3 to the top. Now, 50 divided by 3 is a decimal, so that's just, we're just going to keep it 50 square root 3 over 3. That's the end game and answer. Next problem. 45, 45, 90, 90, 30, 60. Okay, so you have to find what this is. So, split it into 2. Here for the angles, you got 60, 90, 30, okay? And you need to find what that is. That's the end result. You have your answer to the whole problem, but you have to get a side over here. So, blank x, okay? Reference it. So 1, 1. I don't have anything there, and then square root of 2. So you put the 1 over the x, and then the square root of 2 over 12 square root of 2. And you're going to get a similar situation to what happened before. You can take 1 times 12, that's 12, square root of 2, divided by the square root of 2. Now these cancel, okay, and it's just 12. Okay, so 12. Now bring your 12 over, okay, and find what that is, okay. So you got to reference it. So 30, 60, 90. So 12's with 1. Square root of 3 is just kind of junk. And then 2. So you put 2 over x. And then 1 over 12. And then we got it. 2 times 12 is 24. We just divide 24 by 1. It's 24. Mission accomplished. Okay, then the last one. Okay, so line up your proportions. So we're finding this, so you're finding what this is. Okay, now on the other one. Okay, so you're obviously going with this one first so you can get over here. So 1's kind of just garbage, okay? Or no. I need to find this, bring it over here. Sorry, that's my X I'm looking for, okay? It's always this side here, so you can bring, because this side's on both of them, so bring it over here. So 1 square root of 3 and 2. Okay, so 1 to x, 2 over 8 square root of 2. So again, you take 1 times 8, that's 8, and then just hook the square root of 2 onto that, and then divide by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So x is 4 square root of 2. But that's here, okay? Now you got to just bring it straight over there. Now you're solving for this one, okay? So you got 1, and then square root of 2, because it's 45, 45, 90. So you're going to put the square root of 2 over the x, and then 1 over 4 square root of 2. This one's kind of a weird one. Hopefully you don't have this come up. Okay, well, you got your 4. You can't multiply the 4 by anything, but you can multiply the square roots together, and that would be the square root of 4 divided by 1. Now, we don't keep that as a square root of 4 because you see 4 is a perfect square. If you have a perfect square root, you ditch that and put 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so that one was kind of different. Okay, so it's 8. Final answer. And this last page, these are not impossible problems, okay? All you need to do with your these are supposed to be squares, okay? I drew them like crap. Perimeter means all the sides add up to 64. To find out how to get a side, you just divide it by 4 because there's 4 sides, so it's 16, okay? Now you need some angles. Well, this one right here is 90. Now you're like, well, what about these? Well, these were 90, but they split it in half, okay? So what's half of 90? It'd be 45, because this was a 90, but it's being bisected, okay? Now that's all you need. And once you have that labeled, you don't even need this top part, okay? So reference your stuff. So you got 1, which I don't have anything with. A 1 with my 16, and then this x is my square root of 2. So I put square root of 2 over x, and then the 1 over the 16. Can't multiply that, so you put 16 square root of 2 over 1. 16 divided by 1, 16 square root of 2, and that's all you had to find, okay? 16 square root of 2. Okay, next one's another square. Okay, so all you do to get a side length is divide the perimeter by 4, because there's, see, this have to add up to 80. So this is 20. Now put in your angles. That was 90. This used to be 90, but you bisected it. So you divide 90 in half. It's 45. Now, you don't need this top crap. Reference it. Solve it. So 1, square root of 2. So put your square root of 2 over x, and then 1 over 20. Can't multiply those. It's 20 square root of 2 divided by 1. So that's just 20 square root of 2. So x is 20 square root of 2.